Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I do give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kakadash, the born to the apostles, and else great millstone for teaching us this truth, peace, and blessings to the whole of Israel. Yahweh is the name of the Father Jibu Ba'Shem is the name, Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back in our lesson, and as you see within the title, they not like us. And I was originally going to tell, something else, something to the fact that, this devil wants to be us. It's why you have this devil, copying and mimicking and stealing everything that we do, especially our identity. Now you have this devil calling himself the true people. Yeah, if you truly have the understanding of this word, this truth, that's clearly not the case. Matter of fact, he's the people that Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai hates. But, I came across the video, actually saved it a couple of days ago. So I wanted to make it a lesson, go into it in spirit, just now, hopped on me to dive into it. So the Lord's will, be, edifying and, quick and to the point. But it says 3 years later, he's still mad. He's white, I guess. So I'm just going to play this real quick, see what these comments have to say. And
this is white people hair.
What does that mean?
It means that this hair is white.
You are a white person.
I'm not supposed to be white. We're supposed to be black and we're black.
Hey, there you go. They want to be like Jake. And as you get within the scriptures, our people is the salt of the earth. Salt is a great, flavor enhancer. Jake adds flavor to everything that they touch. As you see within the sports industry, acting, and whatever else. Jake takes over. Let's see. Hey, Barak Yahweh Shai, that point is getting in mind. Because you have the brothers always bring up from time to time. Be glad the Lord made us Israelites. The Lord could have made us an Edomite. We could have been this right here. Wanted to be Jake.
What does that mean?
It means that this hair is white.
You are a white person.
I'm not supposed to be white. We're supposed to be black and we're black.
But Yahweh Shai, he made us Israelites. Also, just going to another point, is how blessed we are to be called, to this truth, us waking up and coming back to, who we are as a people, who our power is. The name of our power, Yahweh Shai. That's the point. Just, I thought it'd make an interesting lesson to dive into. But it's Deuteronomy 14:1. Actually, I'm going to get the 7th chapter for that, just to order it. But for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power. Yahweh thy power hath chosen you to be a special people unto himself above all the people that are upon the face of the earth. So the Lord chose us to be above all people, above all nations. But you see in today's society, especially within these churches, they push that the Lord loves everybody, that everybody's equal. Even this devil, he don't believe that himself. Going to his God complex, this devil has, speaking of Esau, Edom. But you see, they won't ever, pull out any of these scriptures. They won't ever, pull out any of these scriptures. I see right here, so I'm trying to articulate my words properly. Because what this whole book is about, a specific people, a chosen people, which is the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. It's who Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai is dealing with, and specifically starting with the elect. I'll read on top one more time. For thou art holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. And instead wants to be like us. This is Deuteronomy 14:1. As ye are the children of the Lord, your power. And also another point came to mind dealing with that one song by Radiohead called Creep. One of the part of the lyrics goes into how he wants to be special. So actually get that a decent song, I like it, but this point, came to mind right here. It says, this is verse 1. It says, when you're here before, could you look you in the eye? You're just like an angel. Your skin is quiet. You float like a feather. In a beautiful word, it says, I wish I was special. In verse 2, this is what I really want to get. It says, I don't care if it hurts. I want to have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm going to run. And you're so special. I wish I was special. This is why you have this devil want to try to obtain and get his blessing back. But it was for us. The perfect body is for us. Going back to I believe 2 Corinthians 15 and on down to the 50 plus verse, which we can actually grab that. I believe it's this chapter. And it's like quite veering off topic, but there's some points are coming to mind. But just don't that the main point of this lesson is devil wants to be like us, but they not like us. The one that this devil represents the wicked. Now let's see. Barak Hashem says verse 52. I was get to the point I want to get. It says, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. So going to those new bodies. So very soon you see the elect be beamed up, and then you see 144 top left. Yahweh our side with that hopeful elect, Lord's will. But soon you have the elect, be beamed up into those chariots, those so-called UFOs, and being changed into these new bodies. You also get in Jeremiah, I want to say that around the 30 plus chapter, going to the the law being written within our inward parts. So we're going to be made perfect. Which is going to those lyrics where it says, I want to be special. I want a perfect body, a perfect soul. Well, it's not for you. And I believe in Edomite, that seems a song also. But it says, for the trumpet shall sound, the dead should be raised incorruptible, and we should be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. Especially, another thing right here, this devil wants to obtain immortality. But you see, he's trying to do it on the left-hand side. Trying to find all these different avenues to obtain immortality. But immortality is only for the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes. And starting with the elect. But that's the part right there. Let's get into these other scriptures and call it. This is Deuteronomy 14:1. So you are the children of the Lord your power. You shall not cut yourselves, nor make any boldness between your eyes. I believe it's verse 2. Yeah, verse 2. But verse 1 is still getting the context. But it says, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power. And the Lord had chosen you to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. So this is who Yahweh has set up above all people, above all nations. The Israelites. But you see also how these nations, came together to, go against us, to keep us in this lowest state. Which you get in Book of Psalms, going to how these nations are, confederate against thee. They also list off our enemies. Psalm 83 and 5. 8 and 3 and 3 through 5. Now it says, they have taken crafty counsel. So let's give verse 2 actually, but it says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. And it says, they have laid, or it's like they have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So you had the devil trying to keep, this word, this truth under wraps, but it's impossible. It was only a matter of time until we woke up and came back to who we are as a people. Came back to our power, Yahweh by Shema Shai. And you get that within the scriptures. How in the land of our captivity we shall remember ourselves. There's also why you see when you have Jake going over, abroad, across these, different lands, these nations, and why you always have these heathens, giving Jake the stank eye, saying slurs and all these various things. I brought a point in one of my last lessons, or one of my lessons, kind of speaking on this. But you had Jake, I believe, traveling. I believe he was doing basketball. I mean, he got off one of the buses they were traveling on, and you had these Moabites, or your Ammonites, whichever one is going to Chinese or Japanese. They're yelling the N-word at Jake. So these heathens don't like us, man. This is another thing that Jake has to come to understand. Because you have Jake, in this all sunshine and rainbows, hug, love, and kisses type of spirit. Especially with what's pushed within these churches. But it says, they have said, come let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. But as you get within the scripture, how you can't do anything against the truth, but for the truth. So us waking up and coming back to who you are as a people is a sign that your kingdom is coming to an end. Now verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent, so they came to an agreement. So they are confederate against thee. As in the list of our enemies, the tabernacles of Edom, which so-called white men today, the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, so Moab, dealing with the Japanese, the Hagarians, and the list goes on. But just dealing with that point, the main point is the lesson where you have these, heathens as a whole want to be like us. This is why you have these heathens trying to replicate, our style, the way we move, the way we talk, the way Jake dances, the way Jake sings. Everything Jake does, leaves, an impression. This is 1 Peter 2 and 9. As be you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people that should show forth the praise of him who had called you out of darkness to his marvelous light. So we are blessed to be called, to this word, to this truth, man. You have Jake that is just, ungrateful to that fact. The Lord giving you a chance at salvation, man. This is Matthew 5 and 13. I'm going to stop at verse 14. But it says, you are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men. Ye are the light of the world, a city that is set on a hill and cannot be hid. So Jake is special. This is also why you see, Israelites, foreigners, in the midst of these, heathen nations. You can tell that they are different. There's something special about them, that they're set apart from these heathen nations, though they may look, like them. That's going to, the speckled bird, Israelite foreigners, as you get within the scriptures, how we have been scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth. Got 3 more scriptures now be the point. It says Malachi 1 and 4. Further establishing that point, how, you're not like us and you can't be, like us. Nor can you even try. Okay, the Lord set you up to be the wicked, to be the bad guy of this story, plainly put. And it says, whereas Edom said we are impoverished, but we return and build desolate places, thus says the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and shall call them the border of wickedness. You know how wicked you got to be literally called, labeled the border of wickedness? And the people against whom Yahweh Shai had indignation forever. Matter of fact, you can get what's in the previous verse. Malachi 1:3, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and areas waste for the dragons of the wilderness. We can also get Isaiah 13, going to how Babylon the Great, aka America, will never be inhabited again. That's why the Lord don't like you. Isaiah 26:10, but you see how that little Edomite wasn't distraught that he's not Jake. He wants hair like Jake, wants to look like Jake. And yet you have our people that want to look like this devil, man. Eve wanting to, straighten her hair or bleach their skin. This type of stuff that you actually see. That's why you get in the scripture, I believe it also goes to that point, envy not thou thy oppressors. Actually, get that real quick. For recalling that. This is Proverbs 3:31. It says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. There you go. Isaiah 26:10, it says, let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. And you also get another scripture out of the book of James, if I'm correct. But going to how the devil's unable to change his ways. How the leper is unable to change his spots. Just how the wicked's unable to change his ways and to do good. He can't. And it says, in land of rightness will he deal justly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. So he can't repent. He can't learn righteousness. So that's another cut for these Jakes. I want to be these Edomite apologist. This is Romans 9:13. It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So you can't be like us, because the Lord hates you. And the Lord loves us. And also, I got this already, dealing with that point of the elect being changed, into those new bodies. But that's the point. It's like we're kind of veered off topic on certain points. Those really my title points together. That's my ability to be edified. Try to make you listen, dealing with that video that I came across. That'd be something to dive into, because it's funny. So I had that little Edomite was in distraught, man, despair that he's not an Israelite, and that's how they should feel, But that's it right there. I'm gonna close out. Give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Bashem El Shai Bashem Dash.